Hello and welcome to my video all about how to knit the knits and purl the purls. Even if you don't know what this phrase means, you'll have most likely already done it without noticing. For instance, if you've ever knit stockinette stitch, which involves alternating knit rows and purl rows, then you've already knit the knits and purl the purls. The knit rows create the front or right side of the knitting, which has this chevron pattern, and the purl rows create the back or wrong side of the knitting, which has the wavy texture. It's a very popular stitch that's created by knitting the knits and purling the purls, even if you didn't notice that that's what you were doing. And the same is true with ribbing patterns as well. Often a knitting pattern will write exactly what stitches you need to do. For instance, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, etc. Whereas sometimes the author will just write knit the knits and purl the purls, which I'm now going to show you how to do. Obviously, I've just done a small swatch of stockinette stitch here, and now I'm going to do a row that's a mixture of knits and purls. So I do 2 knit stitches to start, then bring the yarn forward for 3 purl stitches, and then take the yarn back again for 3 knit stitches. Okay, so now we switch the needles between our hands as we normally would at this point, in preparation to knit the next row. This flips over the stitches we've just done. So now we're looking at the reverse of those stitches. As you can see, the knit stitches we just did look very different to the purl stitches we just did. So there is a recognisable difference. If we now look closely at the stitches that are right next to the needle, which is now the left hand needle, you can see that some stitches have little bumps of yarn right next to the needle, whilst others have a V shape of yarn instead. So if we think about which stitches we knit and which ones we purled on the previous row, the 2 that we first knit now have little bumps of yarn next to them, as do the last 3 that we knit, whilst the stitches that we purled now have little V shapes instead. So you may think that we now knit the stitches that we previously knit, but that's not the case, because of the fact we've now flipped these stitches over. So they're now in reverse. So therefore we only take into consideration what we can actually see now on this left hand needle, and kind of forget what stitches we did on previous rows. So just looking at these stitches now, the stitches with the bumps, which are often called purl bumps, are obviously purls, whilst the stitches with the V shape of yarn in front are knit stitches. I can't remember where I read it, but a really good way of remembering this is that purl stitches wear turtleneck jumpers and knit stitches wear V-neck jumpers. So you purl every stitch that has a turtleneck or a purl bump, and you knit every stitch that has a V-neck. So in this example, you purl 3, then knit 3, then purl 2. And this is what you need to do every time a pattern says knit the knits or purl the purls. So I hope this video has been helpful to you, and thank you very much for watching.